4 school board members who voted to keep a sex health education textbook in middle and high school classes, which was recommended by a school district hearing officer.
And that included that opt-out for any parent who might choose to do that. The board's vice chair was one of those who voted to keep it in. Steve Gallen, Dr. Steve Gallen here with us today. Steve, great to see you, and thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning, Glenn and Michael. It's always a pleasure.
So,
thank you, Steve. Hopefully
you were listening to our last segment. You were able to hear your colleague, Marta Perez, talking about parents should be opting in instead of opting out. I think maybe it comes down to sex ed is actually health to some people and sex to others. What's your take on that?
Yes, thanks for the question. The provision to opt in is, quite frankly, inconsistent with current statute. The statute provides an opportunity for parents to opt out. So the Miami-Dade County Public School Board and our administration followed the procedures consistent with the law. We've had an amplified narrative around some key buzzwords, one beginning with A, that has really dominated the discourse, and that word is abortion. But we also have other words that are reflected in the curriculum, Michael and Glenna, like abstinence, awareness, abuse. These are critically important topics to our students, not only in school, but in life. So our parents should be able to avail themselves to the requirements under state statute, and they should not have to make a formal declaration to do that.
Yeah. Dr. Gallen, as you know, the textbook in question does include a section in which abortion is mentioned, and of course that's a legitimate thing to talk about with kids. And it talks about morning after pills, even names a few. It says that, you know, for a child who may be confused and in trouble thinking about their sexual identity, they should speak to a trusted adult. Now, frankly, none of that just seems over the top to me. What about you?
Absolutely, Michael. I am not only a school board member, but you all know that I'm a 30-year educator and a principal, a teacher, a superintendent of schools. But equally important, I am a parent of a daughter in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I'm a parent of a granddaughter in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Education has always been grounded on knowledge, and knowledge is power. We want our students at the appropriate time to receive the scientifically based, fact-based, evidence-based information so that they can make sound decisions for their learning and their lives. So absolutely, I think that knowledge is critically important. And at the end of the day, it does not run counter to the provisions of parental choice, because parents do have a choice of which I value, of which I respect. And yes, they are partners and they have an opportunity to opt out if they have any concerns regarding the content to be presented to their children.
You know, you said something very interesting at the hearing Wednesday. You had said, I'm not going to quote you verbatim because I can't do that off the top of my head, but your point was this: parents' choice isn't new. We've always had parents' choice in school. You remember saying that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now we have parents' choice as a statutory Florida law. And I think from what we've seen, just kind of observing the last couple of weeks, parents' choice is about to take on a whole new meaning in public schools in Florida. Do you see that?
Yes, in some cases, and I've been very open about the fact that parent choice is not a new narrative, is not a new reality. So I never got any consternation around the provisions outlined in the new law, because I embrace parent choice fully. But what I am concerned about is the possibility and the proclivity of parental choice provisions being utilized as a Trojan horse to advance certain tenets, certain indoctrination, certain positions that run counter to the democratic process that we call public education. Listen, in this particular case, one of the most vocal critics in this particular process is not a parent of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools student. That is a fact, according to most reports. And again, we have an opportunity for those parents to speak. They have an opportunity to work with their teachers, their principals. So parental choice is not a new concept, but I am concerned that such examples of this, it can be a conduit for organizations, in this particular case, a relatively new organization, to utilize parental choice provisions as a means to avail themselves to a platform to debunk opportunities and to deny access to critically important information for all of Miami-Dade County Public Schools children.
Steve Gallen,
information that we've been availed throughout our entire lives.
Yeah. Steve, I take it you were referring to this group called County Citizens Defending Democracy, CCDC, which is led by a gentleman named Alex Serrano. We have invited Mr. Serrano to be on this program next week. Mr. Serrano is leading a group of obviously politically conservative people. God bless them. They can believe whatever they want. But, you know, he told the Miami Herald that he didn't want his children's peers to be indoctrinated by ideology from the instructional materials. What does that tell you about Mr. Serrano maybe and his group?
I think it reflects an unprecedented temerity, a sense of gall. I don't need Mr. Serrano or any other organization to preempt my role as a parent, my role as a grandparent, and the role and responsibility of parents from across this particular county. I think it is quite insulting for one to suggest that parents are not able to make those sound decisions, especially from an individual who represents him or herself as a stakeholder, has no children in the school district, but is leading this particular charge. Listen, we're not naive to what this is about. Our Miami-Dade County Public Schools has been very steadfast in staying away from partisan politics. But obviously, when you have some issues led by organizations that really speak to an agenda that is inconsistent with the tenets, with the law, with the options that parents have, it is quite concerning. But again, as a parent, and the parents that I know from Florida City to County Line Road, they are in a position to do what's best on behalf of their children and make those sound choices through the appropriate process. And let me say, 278 petitions were filed. 4 individuals showed up and only 3 spoke.
Which we actually addressed.
Number. That is a significant number, and that is very telling.
Yeah, Dr. Steve Gallen, gotta go, and appreciate your time very, very much.
Dr. Gallen, great speaking with you again. Thanks.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.